Well, hello everybody. Just a short rant. Show Jared's 20 dimes and 26 Canadian quarters. I don't know if any of them are worth anything, but he's more than. I'll be more than happy to have him Skype me and take a look at them. Then, of course, I guess I showed you I got my Fiji turtles out of 10. Managed to keep my hands on 7 of them so far. And then the usual junk. I don't know why I keep the tiger around, but he seems to be a permanent fixture on my desk. And I guess you can see my desk is its usual mess. But what we're going to talk about tonight is nothing to do with silver, has to do with the news. And where do you have to go to get it? Now, there's two things happened in the last 2 days that you don't see on your evening news. And you have to find them on the internet. Now, I don't know if I can't paint all the news with one brush stroke, but I watch Channel 10, evening news on NBC, and two stories that just struck me that were very newsworthy, and you had to find them. Well, I sub to all these news things, and so they pop up automatically during the day. But that's the only way you're going to get any real news is through the internet. And the first one was a huge, tens of thousands of barrels of oil pipeline sprung in Canada, and now they're saying there's a horrendous mess to clean up. And of course, the president of the company says, well, this just shows you that we're capable of cleaning this up when they haven't even started. And it's gotten into several rivers, and it started in like an estuary and then just spread and spread till it got to bigger and bigger rivers. Now they're having to truck some fresh water in to some communities that get their water from these rivers. But these are the people that want to bring you the Keystone Pipeline, and we've talked about that so many times. That is not going to do anything for reducing our dependency on oil. But what it will do is cross 20 streams and rivers, 20,000 streams and rivers and creeks in this country on its way to Europe to be sold by big oil, which will pay no taxes on those because they're foreign sales. So let them build the Keystone, let them go west to Vancouver. And I'm sure Vancouver Bay would love a big hunk of this crap, tens of thousands of barrels sitting in their bay. We sure as hell don't want it in the Mississippi. We don't want it in the Missouri. We don't want it on the Yellowstone. We don't want it any place in this country. And why the president isn't making a much stronger case, the Republicans are going to eat him alive on this one. And he could be out there showing good reason, and they ought to be jumping on this bill in Canada. But he's sort of got a little thumb on his head too from big oil and big contributors. Now the second story is even a little more disturbing in a sense for Americans, because a drone that took off from a naval base in Maryland crashed. All right, and now they're hard to explain what the damn thing was doing up there in the first place. And you can bet they're going to say, oh well, we're just doing some observations for the Navy or whatever. But you're never going to learn the truth of that one. But was the drone crash, which boy, being the FAA said that they authorized airspace for 30,000 of them to fly in this country simultaneously, that maybe that would be of interest. We can't have drones falling in people's backyards. You know, once that plane, something happens with the communications or some little glitch in the software, that thing is coming down like a stone, and it could land on me or you or your house or your grandmother's house or your mother's house or whatever, your kid in the backyard. Now, you think, oh wow, what a great news story. But, and not only that, they're killing one of the truly innovative people in television. Well, first went Keith Olbermann, but now Dylan RATTIGAN has announced that he will be off the air as of not this coming Friday, but the following Friday. And I haven't yet heard why that is, but the powers that be don't like him picking at them every night. So you can bet they put pressure on MSNBC, the channel 59 here. It's the channel that has all day long uh, uh, has has news on it, but they have other commentators. But Dylan Rattigan uh, was the strongest and the one that's actually trying to get people to get the money out of government, and you know that wasn't going to last too long. So that's free news. That's the First Amendment, how things work in America today. There is no free news. We've talked about this before, but these are two prime examples. Now, neither good nor bad. Silver, I think, closed 1 or 2 cents up today, but it didn't. It is really trading in this very narrow range, and I I can't advise anybody to do anything, but I myself have been buying some on the dips, but not a whole lot. And I'm afraid this last purchase here, depending on what years they are, this might more of this might be heading to Canada than into the ground. But we'll have to wait and see. I think Jared must be on vacation because he'd have gotten back to me by now. But everybody, if you want to watch the news, then you're going to have to get, well, a friend of mine gets the Russian news. Uh, I get some British news. And there's a whole mess of different people that'll tell you the truth on the internet. But don't look for it on your TV tube because, well, tubes, that dates me a little, which tubes are out. But everybody, I think I might have a contest coming up in silver, and I'll tell you what it might be. I'm not sure yet when I'm going to start it, but I've got so far a little over 19,000 views, and I might have one when I hit 20,000 for that my subs can compete in. But more on that later. And by all means, surf the net and find out what's going on in the world. Thanks for your time.